Welcome to Section 6, Cyber Resilience Transition, Control Objectives and Interactions with ITSM. We are moving now towards the transition for cyber resilience. Transition means transformation, building things based on the design, testing them and making them live for the users and other stakeholders. And this is done after the service design has been completed. Prior to service design, we have the service strategy, and then we have been connecting all these IT service management aspects with the cyber resilience activities as well. So we began with cyber resilience strategy, followed by cyber resilience design, and now we are into cyber resilience transition. In the exam, there'll be 9 questions from this topic. It's a medium-sized topic. And the exam syllabus includes the following. We will begin by understanding what transition achieves from a cyber resilience perspective. And then there are 9 controls here, beginning with asset management and configuration management. Then we have classification and data handling, data transportation and removable media, how to handle those, change management, which is a big thing, testing, training, documentation management, information retention, and information disposal. And as always, we will be connecting the cyber resilience activities with the ITSM or ITIL processes, in this case for the ITIL service transition processes, namely 8 of them, starting with transition planning and support, followed by change management, service asset and configuration management, release and deployment management, service validation and testing, change evaluation, knowledge management, and management of organizational change. The last one, the management of organizational change, is a people process. For the exam, we don't have to understand the ITIL processes as such, but we have to understand how the interaction happens between those ITIL processes and cyber resilience activities. And therefore, it is essential to understand those ITIL processes as well to at least a reasonable extent. What does cyber resilience transition really achieve? It ensures that the business and IT changes and transitions support the cyber resilience objectives of the organization. A simple change in the environment, such as adding a new device to a network or adding a new server or an application, will need to perform service transition and therefore cyber resilience transition. Some transitions could be small, some would be large size, like which may involve projects and programs. So therefore, this is about change, and therefore there should be awareness of changes. Those are reviewed for the impact on cyber resilience naturally, and therefore, which means risk assessment will need to be done again and updated, and therefore the security controls may get modified or new controls might come in. They will be designed, tested, and implemented. And here, the output of the cyber resilience design, which happened earlier, they are put into operational use, ensuring that the risks are managed and new or modified processes and controls deliver the expected outcome. So in the first instance, whatever has been designed will be implemented, but afterwards, the service transition will continue to occur every now and then based on certain changes. The design outputs, though this is part of the design, not transition, let's take a quick look at that in the box to the right. The outputs will include design of new or changed overall management system. It'll also include organization design, meaning the teams and people, roles, responsibilities, and accountabilities of staff, new or changed processes for managing cyber resilience, and risk treatment plan describing required cyber resilience controls. And therefore, we can see here, moves the output of cyber resilience design into operational use, ensuring risks are managed and new or modified processes and controls deliver the expected outcomes. The third point here is that what does transition really do? A little more detail here. It takes those designs, then firstly, it procures any components that are needed from external suppliers. 2, oversees any building or integration work that is required. So it's about the build. 3rd, carrying out testing to ensure that designs are able to deliver the expected outcomes. 4, deploy the new or change capabilities. And 5, most importantly, deal with the organizational change management aspects of introducing the new or change capabilities, meaning it is about the people's mindset to be impacted, making them aware about what has come in and how they need to behave, etc. Last point here, changes need not be only to IT services, applications, and infrastructure, but also organizational design, business processes, service providers, and suppliers. Now, about testing here, generally, um, there'll be a unit test of each component or module, followed by integration testing, which is carried out to test the interfaces between the various components or modules. And afterward, there is system testing, which will test the overall software or system functioning. And then there is the user acceptance testing, which is the real world scenario testing by the end users. They focus on the functionality, performance, and user friendliness, and so on. So this picture here, we can see at the top, the business and IT changes. And at the bottom, we have that yields cyber resilience changes as well. So the business and IT changes, we look at the cylinders to the top left, change to organizational design of business processes, change to IT service, change to IT infrastructure or applications. And that has to be reviewed for its potential impact on cyber resilience. And that will result in updation of risk assessment and updation of security controls as appropriate. And the cyber resilience changes there. There'll be a change to the management system for cyber resilience, changes to roles and responsibilities. There'll be new or changed cyber resilience processes and controls. And therefore, the transition will need to procure any components, followed by building and integrating them into the existing product, services, and components, and then test and deploy them into the production and review and close. And then parallelly, there will be management of organizational change, which is more about bringing in any different attitudes, mindset, culture, etc., in the people. To understand the organizational change management better, let's look at the example in the box at the right. An organization installed ID card readers to control internal doors to help prevent unauthorized people entering sensitive areas of the building. Staff members frequently allowed other people to follow them through the doors because this was the polite thing to do, and this rendered the new control ineffective. So the tailgating, we see that issue happening here, which should not be allowed, ideally. So the organization, they ran a campaign to inform people of the threat of unauthorized people being in the building. So they put on posters, there were emails from managers, and they were meet sessions for staff to discuss any queries they had or any issues they had concerning the new card readers. And due to this, the campaign became more effective. Therefore, organization change management requires interaction with people to address their queries and concerns and make them also more aware, provide them clarity about the changes that are coming in. These are the controls for the transition aspect of cyber resilience. There are 7 of them. Firstly, asset and configuration management, which includes asset classification, asset handling, and also the data transportation and removal media, such as USB drives, etc. Then we have change management, testing, training, documentation management, information retention, and information disposal. We begin with the first control, which is asset and configuration management. Cyber resilience exists only to protect assets. If there are no assets, there is no need of cyber resilience. Therefore, a key point is that a full account of all critical assets is needed. Note the word or the phrase critical assets. Without critical assets, organizations cannot operate. Therefore, these need to be identified using the business impact analysis. You might recollect that. And this inventory of critical assets can include information, business processes, people, technology, and physical locations. Without this inventory, it will be difficult to know and track lost, stolen, modified, or damaged assets. It is easier to copy and modify digital information, on the other hand. How about the duration of protection and the level of protection? This will be based on the asset value and its use or need. The value of the asset depends on the outcome from the asset, not its financial value, as we know earlier. For example, the Queen's Birthday Honors List, when given to media in advance of the official publication, it is highly confidential, but once officially announced, it is no longer confidential. The IT department will track IT hardware and software asset inventory for their availability, location, importance, access, and owner for protection. Usually they will maintain some kind of an asset register or a file with all this information in it. Whereas information security will track information assets inventory for confidentiality, integrity, and availability of those assets. So in the box, we see some of the key elements of asset management. First of all, to maintain an inventory of assets, meaning which ones are available and what is their location, and any other key information also. Responsibility and ownership for each asset, who is owning it, and value the asset's importance to business and resilience rather than the financial value, and access control, who will have access to the asset and what level of access, what kind of permissions. Then lastly, acceptable use, meaning do asset users know how to securely handle and use them.